We just finished our glow stones. We're going to start talking about the stones, but first we want to talk about something that's very important when it comes to your light. If you have one of the UV lights, it's very important to not point it in your eye and or anybody else's eye. I'll now hand it over to Miss Shar.
All right, so let's start identifying some of your stones. We're going to start with the ones that don't glow, and we'll go over them very quickly so we get to the fun ones. So first we'll start with our quartz. You'll have some that are very see-through and some that aren't. Only difference is that the ones that are less see-through have cracks and air bubbles inside, which make them less see-through. But what's really cool about those cracks is some of them will create a rainbow on the inside. So some of yours might have rainbows. Take them out in the sun and see if you find any rainbows yourself. All right, your next stone is going to be your smoky quartz. That's going to range anywhere from light brown to dark brown. Same stone as our clear quartz, just a different color. So this one has aluminum mixed with the radiation in the ground, gave it a brown color. The other stone I have attached to my piece here is my black tourmaline. That one's going to be your darker piece that's going to have lines or what's called striations in them. So that one is going to be your black tourmaline in your dig.
All right, so the next one we're going to talk about is this weird, interesting, very, very thin one. It's called biotite. It's in the mica family. It has like a gold sheen, but it's actually very, very thin. Sometimes it'll grow with the quartz on top, in the middle, or on the bottom, or it'll be by itself. Next, we're going to talk about obsidian. Obsidian's not a crystal and or a rock. It's actually naturally formed glass. So the lava flow will flow. You can see the ripple flow here. And when it hits something cool, cold air or water, it will then turn into a glass.
All right, now let's talk about our actual glow stones. So first, let's start with our ruby. The best way to see the stones is if you put it in the palm of your hand and then light it up. So this is our ruby. It does glow a very bright red color. You might recognize the term ruby from jewelry, and ruby that is in jewelry usually will UV react. All right, next stone we're going to talk about is our fluorite. So that's going to be your green to kind of aqua bluish color, and when you put your light on it, it does glow blue. So if you've ever heard of the term fluorescent, like in fluorescent lights, we actually get that term from fluorite. Our next stone is going to be our yopperlite. So yopperlite, when you hit it with your light, is going to have this really cool kind of firestone effect, and that's actually its nickname is a firestone. Now what's really cool about this stone is that it only comes from one place in the earth, and it's very exotic. Michigan. Believe it or not, this stone only comes from Michigan. So millions of years, there's some crazy volcanic activity that happened that produced these stones that had this impurity in it that gives us a nice orange glow when we use a UV light. Next, we're going to talk about our Hakmonite. This one might be a little hard to discern, but as soon as you use your light on it, you'll see it. What's great about Hakmonite is that it's a very, very unique stone and that it has this thing called tenebrescence inside. What that means is it actually absorbs the UV light. So what Mr. Damien's doing here is he's charging up my stone, and the more UV he gets to it, the more purple my stone gets. So you guys might notice your stone turn more purple. Once it goes back to the dark for a while, it'll fade and then you can charge it right back up.
Really cool, isn't it? I love that. Now we're going to talk about a rock that's really interesting. It's actually a rock on the outside, but crystals on the inside. You guys might know that as a geode. What's cool about geodes is it will glow in some areas with the light. It's just the calcite or the minerals that have deposited there, they actually have a glow to them. So it'll take it in and it'll absorb it. If you take your geode into a really, really dark space and you light it up and then you move your light off real fast, it'll tend to glow down. Another interesting glowstone is petrified wood. What happens, just like the geodes, is it'll go into the ground and minerals will grow inside of it, mostly calcites, and calcites tend to grow. So if you see inside of these little interesting little crevices, there's some really cool crystal formations in there, and they glow.
All right, that is your glowstones. Thanks so much for digging with us, and we can't wait to have you check out some of our other digs.
See you guys soon.